Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here with Elon Mudd. How you doing, Elon?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm okay. I got no complaints. I woke up early, and I was streaming with Matt Bear for a little while.
Oh, I know. Well, I can't say I know Matt Bear, but I've talked to him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy.
He's got
sure.
Rock and Roll Ninja coming out soon, for those of you who don't know. So, like I always do with all my videos, I let you introduce yourself. Who are you, and what's going on?
Okay, well, my name is Elon Mudd. I'm I'm an artist, but I'm not drawing the particular comic that I'm working on right now. I'm more working as the editor-in-chief. I'm working with the talented Rich Ayala. Tony Hoffman is writing it with me, and I have artists like Skunk Artworks, and if you're familiar with Twitter, at Irene, she's a really talented artist. She just submitted some stuff to me, and her and at Lost Lenore did the line art was done by Irene. Lost Lenore did the color. Really beautiful stuff, and we're going to be launching a comic in January or February.
Oh, cool!
And it's called The Plunger.
What format are you going to use? What platform are you going to use?
Oh, actually, I'm going to go with Luke Stone's Fund My Comic.
Yeah.
I'm going to go exclusive on there.
When I launch my comic, I want to use that also. He's one of us. He's a comic book guy. You know, how can you?
Dude, I love Luke. You know, he's one of my. Yeah, he's the best. I was on Nerd Bacon last month.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's a good guy. Have you had him on your show yet?
Yes, I had. He came on twice. He came on once, and then I invited him back just to talk about. I'm nervous about a crowdfund. I don't know what to do.
Same here.
So he was answering questions from myself and people in the chat. I can't get people from Kickstarter and Indiegogo to answer a question. So why would I want to go to them?
Right. Well, the thing with Indiegogo is you can get shadow banned.
Right.
On Kickstarter, if you don't have the right politics, you're going to get.
Absolutely. That was the first question. Even though I knew the answer, I wanted him to say it to everybody. Why?
Right.
Because I'm wasting a lot of money on this. Well, not wasting, but you know what I'm saying. I'm spending a lot of money on my campaign, hiring artists and stuff.
Yep.
And then I'm going to get shadow banned by some person who never met me, never interacted with me.
Right.
Right.
So who's going to? Right.
I'm a fanboy.
Basically, you've got self-appointed judges. You know what I mean? And they're going to tell you whether you are a good or bad person, and they have never met you. They've never talked to you.
They never interacted with me.
Right. Right. And that's the scary thing about I think life and politics and comics and everything right now is how polarized everything is.
Absolutely.
So it's even what's crazy is within the Comicsgate scene, you've seen people like Ethan Van Sciver going, throwing shade at what's his name, Eric July.
Yeah, I try to.
It's funny because I absolutely do.
Yeah.
But the reality is, was Ethan drew one of the Isom covers, and it's unnecessary,
Yeah, I don't like the fight. Funny that you should bring this up because I was just on Matt Bear's channel. I had to drop out to do this with you, and the topic was fighting with other CGs guys, and I'm like, say whatever you want about me. I don't care. Unless you're talking personal information or messing with my money, talk about me.
Right.
In fact, if I found out that somebody was talking crap about me, I'm like, oh wow, they know who I am. I made it. Now I got haters. I don't have haters yet, so I guess I'm not important.
Right. Well, same here, man. Everyone's like, you're doing it.
I hate you. Just I want to make this absolutely clear. I hate you.
Okay, cool. I hate you too.
We're
going to start our own East Coast, West Coast beef.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There's the drama. Yeah. Hicks says F the drama. Me and Ellen are going to start the drama right now. West Coast.
Oh, Chris Hicks is here?
Yes.
Oh, dude, what's up, Chris?
You can't see the chat, huh?
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Good.
He's like my brother.
Yeah. Dave Evanson's here. He's a good friend of mine. If I may plug, next Sunday, we're going to do a live stream of making up superhero role playing characters and play a game. Dave's going to be one of the guys. So, Dave, in case you know, you'll be live on the internet.
Yeah, well, what's awesome about a lot of what's going on in comics is like, you know, if you remove the drama, like I think one of the greatest things about the crowdfunding scene right now is there's so much talent. Even people, you know, this is the funny thing. I find people that I disagree with, like on many levels, you know, in life, produce artwork that is so incredible. It's like, you know, I still retweet it, even though, you know, we probably wouldn't get along in real life, but damn, they're doing good work.
Right. The work speaks for itself.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And, you know, it's an exciting time to be a creator because of the crowdfunding platform, you know?
We got I don't know how to pronounce this. Tobaz Nowak says he could hate us both for $1 each. I got people who hate me for free. I got plenty of people who hate me for absolutely nothing.
I do, but honestly, if he will really go on and kick up dirt on Twitter, I'll give him $2.
You know, it's too hard to find dirt on Twitter for me.
Yeah, that's 8 quarters well spent, you know?
With my name and this East-West thing, he's going to get shot. That's the funny thing. Old Dirty Fatty says he'll get shot with that name if we start an East Coast, West Coast rivalry. I even get that. Oh,
yeah. Well, dude, you know, the sad thing is we're both going to die if that happens. Because I have to be Tupac and you have to be Biggie.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to. Yeah. I thought you could just eventually in life. I plan on being immortal.
Yeah, well, I'd love to be. So you said you're planning on launching a comic. What's your comic about?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm talking.
Or can you talk about it?
Yes, I can. I just had 6 cups of Cafe Bustelo. I'll talk about anything right now, probably at hyperspeed.
Oh, beautiful.
But I'm launching a comic. It's called Heroic Tales. I got Renzo Rodriguez doing the art, and I'm in the process.
Dude. I love Renzo.
Oh, Renzo! First off, he's a beautiful person. Second off,
yeah,
he's a great artist. Check out this rough.
How the fuck did you land Renzo, dude? And can I say the word fuck? I'm sorry.
Well, you already did. What I don't got a time traveling machine.
Okay.
But this is his preliminary write-up of the character from the first issue. Look at that. We changed it up a little bit because I didn't want to look like Superman. But I'm making a comic. It's going to be called Heroic Tales #1. He's contacting one of his friends for the coloring. I'm hiring a guy to do the flatting and the computer. I don't know any of that stuff. I just write scripts. I'm
that's great, man.
Varied covers. I want to make T-shirts, but it costs a lot of money, and I'm not ready to launch. I don't know. Sometime next year. That's all I'll say.
Well,
you know, I don't. Dude, but I'm drumming up excitement. I'm excited.
Well, let me tell you this, John. By the time all is said and done, I'm going to be about $5,000 in to make this comic.
Oh, that's it?
So, yeah, that's what everyone says. They're like, that's it. And it's like, no, fuck you, man. I'm working 2 jobs to do this.
Yeah.
You know, but when everything's said and done, I'll have a comic, a T-shirt, a card, and an action figure.
Oh, I won't have an action figure that yet, but that's my goal someday.
Yeah, well, you know, I know some really good 3D artists, and, you know, getting resin printers, because, you know, if you're going to get a toy printed, you got to do it resin. It's at the point where you can get a decent resin printer for about $250, and you can get
I bought a Mars Elugu Pro resin printer.
There you go.
It was one day sale on Amazon, $200.
Yeah. And then as long as you get the curing bed, you're good to go, man. You just need a 3D artist to do your model. You know?
Yeah, that's what's stopping me. Is I bought it and I'm printing up like other people's stuff. Like I printed up an Ultimate Nullifier, which is cool.
Right.
But I don't know how to design and you know, sculpt and whatever 3D sculpt. So I'm kind of limited in what I'm printing.
Yeah. Well, you know, do you know RJ of the Islands?
Yeah. RJ.
Yeah. See, you kind of give me the Thomas Valiant vibe when you describe your comic, and that makes me excited.
Well,
for your project,
I will say this. This is turning into you promoting my comic, so thank you. But RJ,
that's cool.
I've been a fan of RJ's pretty much since the beginning. I've been listening to him since before I had a YouTube channel, and I just been
I love RJ.
In his chat, you know, just commenting, and believe it or not, I sent him this picture. That's my comic book room.
And you know what? I've seen that on Twitter.
Yeah,
that was why I followed you.
This picture has been the greatest piece of promo for me. And then RJ started talking, and then he came on my channel, and then he started doing interviews for a while. If you remember, I was his first interview because he liked me, and we, you know, and he he practiced interviewing, and that started the bug. I'm like, I want to talk to other people, and then because of RJ, he pretty much said, here's a YouTube channel, John. I was just a guy talking about comics nobody ever read in my basement to nobody. And then RJ gave me that. So I am eternally grateful to RJ. He's great. And then after RJ, I reached out to Mike Barron. I was like, why not? And Mike Barron came on my channel. And I was like,
see, that's what's crazy. Because, okay, the funny thing is, like, I've noticed, like, both you and Desolate Souls, you guys are really good at lining up talent to come on your show. Because, like, you had Don Chin on, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's another RJ is friends with Don Chin. So,
okay.
So I was like, hey, let me ask Don Chin, and
well, because me and Chris Hicks, the guy in the chat, we had a stream going for a while. I reached out to Mike Barron, and literally the response I got was, how many followers do you have? And I was like, fuck. Okay, well, apparently we're not big enough for you.
Well,
but
it's funny.
He was a really nice guy.
Wonderful. He came on
really nice guy.
I had like 400 followers at the time. I mean, I still am under 1,000. I'm still nobody.
Right.
But he didn't ask me. The only question he asked me is what time. And I said, well, 7 o'clock because I go to bed early. And he said, perfect. Wow. And then it was funny. On live.
That hurts my feelings.
I'm sorry?
I said that hurts my feelings.
Yeah, he goes to bed early, and I go to bed early too because I wake up at 4 in the morning.
Well, no, it hurts my feelings because he went straight to how many followers do you have?
Well, he probably learned that from me after coming on my channel. There was like 3 people. You know what I mean? And then he just asked to come back on, and he was just on with Mike Bear, And And if I may sound pretentious for a moment, because I'm still writing.
Please do.
While on live with Matt Barrett, Dave Sim called me.
What?
Yeah, I've been calling him.
How the fuck do you know that guy?
You just look him up online, and his phone number is there because he has no email. He doesn't do anything. He has no cell phones. He doesn't have internet access. So I was like, how do I get in touch? So I just Googled him and got his phone number, called him. And we've been talking back and forth for a week now, and we talk like few hours. He will not come on my channel. He doesn't want to give interviews, but we just talked, and he just asked me for my address. So I guess I got something coming in the mail from Dave Sim. But
wow, that is so crazy. Because all babies look like Winston Churchill to Cerebus.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that. I love that guy.
Yeah, I love that guy. I want to, I feel like I love comic books, and I want to talk to people about comic books. And then I finally, because of RJ and Don Chin and Mike Barron and guys like that, and Chuck Dixon, who was like, oh my God, what a
dude! You had Chuck Dixon on your show?
Yeah. Yeah. Go check
dude,
out.
I want to stab you right now, dude. I want to literally pick up a spoon and stick you in the eye. Just to make it hurt.
Chuck Dixon came back twice, and then we were joking around about doing a buddy Friday night show. Me, Chuck, and John.
What?
Chuck is the ultimate guy.
Chuck is badass, dude. Dude, everybody we're talking about, I literally love.
Comics waiting, right now. Chuck is awesome.
Yeah.
Now I sound like I'm bragging. I gotta,
No. Well, you know what's funny is Chuck Dixon's working with your boy Zach, right?
Yeah, I tried to get your boy Zach. He politely declined.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is my comic book that I'm working on right now.
This is supposed to be you. Now it's about me.
No. Please, I love hearing. The thing is, I love talking to artists. I don't care. I am not the center of the universe. I would love to hear about your projects. I'd love to talk about mine. But the reason I got the idea for my comic was a Your Boy Zach video. And this is a story I love to tell because I was sitting in a parking lot with my niece, sitting in a car, and I'm listening to his video. And what happened was Marvel decided, the Punisher bad. He has guns. But the most problematic part about this character is the skull on his chest, because the military, police, and plumbers have adopted it. Right. And right when I heard plumbers, I lost my shit and just started laughing. I was like, this can't, we're seriously living in a fucking clown world, You
want to hear something funny? I'm a construction worker, and guys have Punisher skulls on their helmets. So all of these.
That's what I'm saying.
Guys, basically the regular guy loves the Punisher.
Yeah. Oh, dude, for sure.
And that's a problem.
The whole fact that they threw, basically alphas or people that like, your blue collar guys.
Blue collar guys who
they get up in the morning.
Like the Punisher. And
right. They put on their boots. Right. But when I heard that they had a problem with the plumbers using it, I was just like, oh my God. It's like somewhere in this, there's like comedy gold. There's like Mario and Luigi, like, oh my God, the Twitters are coming for us. Yeah. And like, okay, so that just literally put in my head a plunger with machine guns. And I grabbed my niece's sketchbook. My niece is an artist, and I had a blue marker, and I scribbled down the character, and that's realistically, that's how I created the comic. That
sounds funny.
Yeah. So, I owe your boy Zach a little nod of the cap and say thank you, because had I not seen that video, I wouldn't have created a comic book about a sentient plunger with machine guns.
And is this your first issue coming out?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, when I was 19, I'm kind of old, but when I was 19, I was published with well, I was published with Craig Storman, who put me in a comic with Stephen Hughes, Stan Sakai, Tim Vigil, Mark Pajarillo, a lot of really legendary artists,
Yeah.
Ben Dunn. And so, I did that at 19. I did a few other comics. That was the Cursed World source book. And I was on the cover. And then if you look in the interior, I'm literally right next to Stan Sakai, which was amazing.
Yeah, I love Stan Sakai. I want to talk to him. I love Stan. Anything by Stan Sakai.
Oh God, Usagi Yojimbo is legendary.
Yeah, that's my number one comic every.
Yeah. And what's great is I can send you photos on Twitter of the 2-page spread, because it's like I'm on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side is Usagi Yojimbo with Craig Storman's characters, the Varmints. So it was really cool, and he was kind of my mentor. And then his father passed away, and he moved, and he passed away. And then my dad passed away, and I kind of took a gap. I sort of stopped doing creative things, I did T-shirts and did other things like that, but I woke up one day and decided, if I really want to do a comic book, it's got to be now,
That's what I said. So, my star isn't going to rise too much higher. Now is the time,
Right. And basically, I got a second job. All the income from my second job goes into this project. And so far, I've been blessed. I worked with I have really talented people. I got Skunk Artworks. He did my card. And like I said, there's Irene, Lost Lenore, Rich Ayala, like tons of great people have stepped up and they're working on this project.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Do you know Rich or Skunk?
No, I don't.
Oh, you got to talk to these guys.
Sure. I'd love to talk to people. I love to talk to comic book people.
Yeah.
Fans. I love to talk to fans. I love to talk to creators.
Yeah. And also, if we can, real quickly, my friend Quiz, or I said Quiz. I'm sorry. I need more coffee. My friend Chris Hicks just put out a Thanksgiving book, and it's on Amazon. It's great. There's a trailer on Twitter. It's all about how to deal with your psychotic family during Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, send me a link on Twitter, and I'll put it in the description after this goes up.
Oh, definitely. I just want to shout him out, And then, what about the Lucent cover fan art thing? Have you looked into that at all? Who did you vote for?
I voted for Don Chin.
Okay. He did the Moosent, right?
Yeah, he did the Moosent. Of course, I got to vote for Don. Is awesome.
Yeah, well, I was a little biased. I had to vote for Skunk Irene, and then
you got to vote for your friends. You got to,
Yeah, and Chris Shelby.
Yeah, it's all for fun.
Oh yeah. And then like Clark Bancroft had a drawing up. I think Skunk's maybe I want to say Skunk's kid had one, because I know Skunk had 2 entries, but I know that Skunk's son is a little chip off the old block, dude. For a 6-year-old or for a young kid, I want to say he's 6. He might be a little older. This little kid can throw down, dude.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, like
Mike Bancroft came on my channel. We talked for a while. He's a good guy. Everybody's been so
good.
That? So good. I said Mike Bancroft came on.
Oh, Michael Bank. Yeah, he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
And he does a lot for creators, you know, like when he does the launch parties. Yeah. You know, without him, because I mean, there's a few people like Julius Freeman. When Chris Hicks and I had him on our stream, he was friends with Chris, you know. He wasn't funded until Michael Bancroft reached out to him, was like, hey, I like what you're doing. Why don't you come on my show? And, you know, thanks to Michael Bancroft, he got, you know, funded.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You know, Matt Bear always says grab an oar, and I'm taking that to heart. I'm starting like the hashtag grab an oar, you know, help out.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
I think all like your comic, everybody, rising tide floats all boats. Let's shift the eye of Sauron over here for a little while, you know, and everybody makes some good comics, you know.
Yeah.
Why not, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, what's fun is
get people or normalize the idea of going online and ordering comics from crowdfunding sites, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, the prices will come down, quality will go up, everybody wins.
Well, see, I think ideally, you know, and see, this is where I got thrown off of a comics. Well, someone who proclaims to be Comicsgate. When I brought up Comicsgate, he literally threw me off his stream.
Oh wow!
And he said it was yeah, because he's Iron Age now, and which I think is funny, you know, because it's like, dude. Well, I don't want to get into that and throw like shade at anyone, but I think it's really funny because my core message when I brought up Comicsgate was, hey, I think Comicsgate is great. But here's the thing, as a kid, when I grew up, my best memories were spent at the comic shop.
Right.
So as dope as crowdfunding is, we can save Western comics if we just got into the stores and gave people a reason to go to the stores.
Yes.
And just saying that got me thrown off a stream.
Well, I'll tell you this. I worked in a comic book store from junior high school and high school. And
same here.
I loved it. I had a conversation with Dan Sen. He was a guy from my comic shop.
Right.
The guy from my comic shop founded CGC. You know, my buddy Larry. Yeah. He was the first person to have an in-store appearance with Dave Sim of Cerberus back like in issue number 6 or something like. So I'm gonna say, all because of my comic shop. I'm here today, you know. So I'm very loyal to the comic book stores, but unfortunately, I got 3 comic book stores within walking distance of my house. I go into them, I buy back issues only, and I look at the new stuff, and I'm not interested. And unfortunately, I got all the back issues I want, you know. So
you mean you don't like Gay Green Lantern?
I'm sorry.
You don't like Gay Green Lantern?
Look, I got the Green Lantern right over here. I can't even point to it. It shows you how much I love Alan Scott. He's my favorite Green Lantern. And
he's one of the best, but I really feel like they did him dirty.
Right.
You know, because he was always a family man, and
they eliminated his son Obsidian, who was DC's first outed gay character, and everybody loved him. You know?
Right.
You know,
but instead, hey, let's just stunt. Well, I got blocked from that guy. I can't even think of his name now because that's how far out of the data banks he is.
Can I ask
the writer?
I want to ask you a question there because I'm kind of out of the loop, and I try to stay out of the drama. But what is the difference between Comicsgate and Iron Age? I thought it was all the same thing.
Well, it's similar. Well, okay. The way that I see this, okay, is this: Comicsgate is a movement. I think Iron Age is a period, because you know how like when they say the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Platinum Age, Iron Age. So you know, but Comicsgate are more the people that got screwed over by comics that were just like, we don't like what's going on in comics, and we want to make our own comics. You know, because I don't consider myself Comicsgate. I consider myself Comicsgate adjacent because I share their core views. You know, just like I don't when I put up artwork, I don't hashtag Comicsgate or Iron Age, because the comic I'm doing it's more like Mad Magazine.
Right, it's funny.
So like I don't. Right, yeah. We hit hard and we fucking make fun of everyone. You know, so I don't consider myself part of either of those. You know, but if you want to get technical, if I publish a comic now, it's going to be Iron Age, in my opinion, because it's Iron Age. The first person that I believe I spoke to that was like, oh, we're Iron Age was R.H. Snow. Rebecca, she does Watcher of the Damned.
Okay.
And then there's Brina Williams. They're kind of the two breakout stars of that movement.
Okay. I gotta look them up.
Yeah. Oh, there's. Well, I can't say. I know I've talked to Brina on a couple occasions, but RH, I know very well. Beautiful person. Watcher of the Damned is fucking awesome, and it's more like and also the way she broke it down was it's comic books that are like Western period. So I think a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon because she was there from day one, and she's like, "This is what Iron Age is." Okay. And I notice people now are kind of assigning it different things. You know what I mean? Because like you'll see people like Nick.
It's the problem with ideas of movement. Like I've said this quote a million times. Like I'm a big fan of the individual. I love people.
Yeah.
If I go to, that's why my channel's format is pretty much me and one person. But you know, if you watch me on panels, I get shy. I don't talk to groups. I'm not a good work with groups, but I'll always say this: Comicsgate was necessary. Comicsgate is important. I love Comicsgate.
Absolutely.
To me, I've only been hearing about it for like the past 2 weeks. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, okay.
You know, but whatever. If these two are feuding, I don't want to be a part of it. You know, I don't want to be part of it.
I don't really feel like they're feuding. I just feel like I feel like they're both finding their audiences. Like, I mean, Comicsgate obviously is the big dog on the block because Comicsgate's been around since what, 2015. So they've had 8 years of exposure. Iron Age is more kind of, I think it's a way to say, hey, we're making contemporary comics, but we're not CG. That's my opinion.
Say that because then what you do in it, it's like a political party now. Now they're the Libertarian Party or the Green Party, and now the Democrats aren't going to vote for them, and now the Republicans aren't going to vote for them. And what you just did was lowered your slice of pie. Call yourself Iron Age. I have no problem with that. But just say, hey, listen, we like everybody. You know, I like comics, but whatever. You know,
right? Well, see, and that's where I am because, like, excuse me, there's people like Isaac Bell. You know who he is, right?
No, I don't.
Oh God, you haven't seen Hex or Metal Shade?
No, send me links. I want to know if there's good comics out there that I don't know about. I want to know about them.
Yeah. Well, were you a fan of '90s comics?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so you like Mike Turner? Yeah, like Mike Turner, J. Scott Campbell, that style of stuff. Oh, dude, Isaac Bell? No, he is not Comicsgate, and he's caught tons of shit from both sides. You know, but Isaac's a funny dude, super talented. He lets it roll off the chest. But he's a fantastic artist, and he's a great, like, I think when it really comes down to it, if you want to say like, oh, that's the kind of creator or that's the kind of publisher I want to be, I think it's Isaac, because this is the thing. Isaac will stick up for like Fiendish. He had some drama going on where some people hit him up and they're like, yeah, we want to interview you because you're awesome. And he's like, cool. And then he goes to be interviewed. And when he brings up comics like Fiendish by Rini Draws, you know, Irene.
Yeah.
They shut him down. And they're like, no, that's
an awesome comic. Fiendish is an awesome comic. I read Fiendish 2 issues all at once. I got super excited. I reached out to Irene. She's coming on my channel in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
She's awesome. Comic is awesome. Why would you have a problem with that? Well, you know,
because she's Comicsgate, because she's on Indiegogo.
So what?
And Isaac stuck up for her. Right. But see, Isaac, she made an amazing comic, but this is the thing. This particular outlet refused to talk about her. And then they turned around and tried to backstab Isaac because he was like, well, why aren't you talking about Fiendish, or why aren't you talking to these people?
You know what? I'm sorry. Then this is not good. You know,
no. It's no good for the industry.
Well, it's what I like the wrong flavor of Coke or Pepsi. You don't want to talk to me because this is
hey man, it's
so silly. And
here's the thing.
Comicsgate.
Well, when all you have is Coke and Pepsi, what about Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, Sprite?
Oh, now I hate you. I gotta go. Mountain Dew.
Right. And see, that's the funny thing, because you know, growing up, to me, there's been a lid for every pot. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you liked Reed Fleming, you know, you could read Reed Fleming, which is a weird ass comic. It was about like this dude that drove around in a fucking ice cream truck that
he was the
had a knife sticking out of his back.
I love weird comics.
Yes.
I'm trying to get Carol Lay on my channel. This
or Flaming Carrot or Concrete or fucking Scud.
Oh, Concrete.
You know, Tank Girl even.
Tank Girl. Like, awesome. I got all of those comics.
Yeah, and but see, at the time though, everybody was so image obsessed, you know. So it's like, well, if you're not Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, or Todd McFarlane, suck my balls. And it's like, well, you know, that's where, even though at that age as a teenager, those were my dudes. I love those guys, like Rob Liefeld.
But we became best friends.
Yeah, right. But you know, at the same point in time, there were alternative comics out there. That people could read, and they were fun.
Let me put it this way, Elon. You and I both have comic books, and they might even overlap. I don't know exactly when you're launching, and I don't know exactly when. But you know what? That doesn't take anything away from me. You know.
Well, let me tell you this, John.
I'm putting out a flat-out homage to my love of Marvel and DC from the 70s and 80s. You know, they could. Rising tide floats all boats. I'm not going to fight with people, and if people ask me to disavow or not do, I'm not doing it, even if it costs me followers or anything.
Well, let me tell you this, John.
Matt Barr fights with people that I like, but I like Matt Barr. You know, I'm not going to disavow.
Dude, I've got, you know, as a kid, most of my best friends were kids that I got into fistfights with.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how we rolled back in the 80s. But this is the thing, John, when I do my comic, the back cover is going to be my favorite YouTube channel. So I'm having like Nerdette, RJ, little, you know, 1-by-1 ads for everyone on the back cover of my comic. And I'd like to put you on there.
Oh, I would be honored.
Yeah, for sure.
My whole career has been following whatever RJ does. RJ starts a channel, I start a channel. RJ has interviews, I have interviews. He gets Don Chin, I get Don Chin. He gets Renzo, I get Renzo. So
yeah. Well, Renzo's done some work for him, right?
Yeah, Renzo's the artist on Thomas Valiant and the
Thomas Valiant, yeah.
And when I read Thomas Valiant, I said, this guy is a great classic, awesome superhero comic book artist. And I reached out to Renzo, and he was like, yeah, sure. And then he came on my channel, and I fell in love with him. He's a freaking
that's the cool thing about RJ, because the one thing like I have to point out about the man is he's a really friendly dude. Like I sent him some of my comic artwork, you know, to say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this comic. What do you think of it? He took the time to reply. But the reality is, if you listen to his shows, though, he's not an angry guy. He just knows how to write a good story.
He's one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. If you want to talk about, you know, talking to
storytelling.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. He's very thoughtful. I sent him my script. He was the first person I ever sent a script because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Is it okay if I reach out to Renzo because that's his guy? You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was like, John, you know, if Renzo wants to work, I'm not going to tell somebody not to work. So I contacted Renzo. I tried to be as respectful to everything, and then RJ gave me some pointers and important feedback. You know,
right.
And again, this my internet, me, John's Long, been nothing but pleasurable, wonderful people. I now include you in that group of wonderful people. If you're looking for drama, you will find it. If you're looking for fighting, you will find it. And a couple of people have been busting my chops that I'm like Mr. Nice Guy and Mr. Rogers. You know what? You don't know me too well. I have some.
No, you know what you need. No, what you need to reply to those guys. No, literally, when they're like, "You're Mr. Rogers," just come right back with "Your mom sucked my dick." Okay, how does that sound? Doing your mom.
Except
because it's like, hey, well, would Mr. Rogers say that? Well, then you obviously don't know me.
I'm sorry, I was talking.
No, I was saying if that's Mr. Rogers, I'm sorry, you don't know me. You know. Yeah,
I've decided to adopt the attitude, unless I know specifically, I take everything in the best possible light. You know, so if someone says something insulting to me, you know, especially typed in a comment or Twitter, I just think that hey, this is camaraderie, this is whatever. But you know,
hopefully, you know, but what's funny is like, do you know Joe Santag? Or Sontag?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes, I contacted him. Yeah. We're playing tag about being on each other's channels. Yeah.
What's funny was he posted something on Twitter this morning about that Shad Brooks guy. who
Yeah,
like does the
he's
AI
like
art.
#1 for AI thing.
Oh yeah, he's such a shithead. Such a shithead. And like I even was telling him like, because he tried to put up like, well, everybody talking shit about my AI art. Here's the drawing I did, and it was like, bruh.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm one of those people. I will support anyone's talent. Like if they're like, hey, I'm passionate, I'm driven, and I
Better than
want to
me.
do
There's
this.
my drawing.
Well, you know, I've been drawing since I was like 5, probably no, I mean before I
Me
was
too.
5.
I just never got better.
Oh, yeah. But I was just like, dude, I have a 14-year-old niece that could shut you down. And, you know, like, and I don't say this out of malice, but bro, you're just making yourself look like a jackass.
I was going to get involved in this Chad. What's his name? Chad Brooks?
Chad Brooks, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
dude, anybody I've ever met named Shad is an asshole. I'm sorry.
You know what?
They're just a straight up asshole.
Because, you know, Ethan Van Sciver's arguing with him about art. What am I going to contribute? You know, this is like,
you know, Ethan Van Sciver also said my comic book was a comic about shit, and he doesn't know what he'd do with it. But I might find an audience in the YA market. So, which, you know, I don't know if that was Ethan being Ethan or if it was some backhanded compliment. I'm not sure what it was, but I was just like, hey man, cool. Thanks for looking at my work.
Well, you know, like I said, that's the case. If I have to, unless I know specifically, I'll take it as friendly ribbing, you know. But
yeah,
my
well,
point
you know,
was, I got nothing to contribute to the Shad guy, and you know what? Let him make a comic, waste his money, and fail and burn, and then maybe.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, it's all about this, you know.
Well, this is the reality. If he puts out a book that people want to back, more power to you, Shad.
Yeah.
You know, because that's where I am with, you know,
Matt,
as far as people like.
We're talking good stuff about you, Matt.
Oh, Matt's here?
Yeah, Matt Barr's here.
Hi, Matt. You should talk to me more on Twitter. I'm Elon Mudd.
Elon Mudd. And it's funny because he started following me, and I got all excited. I thought it was Elon Musk. I was about to get up off my chair, go tell my wife. It's just Elon.
No,
Musk.
I'm the only Elon that matters, though. Like, I'm building a wooden rocket ship in my backyard.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and what I plan on doing is putting a lot of Democrats in it and shooting them to the sun. But that's only because I'm an independent. So there might be a couple of Republicans in there too. I'm not sure, but I'm building a wooden rocket ship. I'm pretty sure it's mostly going to.
I got into a political argument at work, and I realized that I was being a jerk. And I just said, listen, name one politician that you would actually want to sit down and have a good dinner with, you know, with your family.
Yeah.
And none of them could name anybody. I said, that's the point. So forget about their personalities. Trump's a jerk. Biden's a jerk. But what matters is what kept the country safe, what kept the country prosperous. And
Can I ask you one question, John?
Sure.
How epic would it be to load AOC into a wooden rocket ship and shoot her into the sun? If you can disagree with me, that's fine.
I don't wish harm on anybody. I don't like her politics. She's a beautiful woman. Too bad she's in politics.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a good friend.
To answer your question without starting problems, I can't wait to get another one of these.
Well, can you really disagree though? I'm not saying I'm really going to build a wooden rocket ship and shoot AOC into the sun.
I know.
If anyone deserved to be shot into the sun in a wooden rocket ship, I think it's AOC.
Yeah, her, Nancy Pelosi, you know.
Oh God, don't get me started on that one.
My politician.
Yeah.
I'll throw in your Gavin Newsom. Hey, I'll raise you a Gavin Newsom.
Oh, dude, beautiful. Dude, he actually, you know what, man? He's just going to be strapped to it like fucking Ahab and Moby Dick.
No, he's going to be the next president. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to run with Biden's going to drop Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
He's going to take her spot, and then Biden's going to bow out for health reasons, and he's going to become our
that scares me.
Yep.
That thought is frightening. Because I literally work with a girl that's a Republican. She's a Republican. Her dad's a Republican. Right. Well, and she said flat out, she's like, I'd vote for Gavin Newsom just because he's handsome. And I was like, and you are what's wrong with this country.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You hear things like that.
My philosophy on politics is I always vote against the incumbent, no matter what, unless that's my guy. You know what I mean? Unless that's my gal. You know what I mean? If I like this person's been awesome, but you know, in the absence of that, get out of office. You've been in there 2 years, you've been in 4 years, you've been in there 6 years, and I still can't make my ends meet. When I go to work every day, then get out of there, you know?
Yeah. Well, to me, it just comes down to, you know, I vote on policy. That's why I'm a registered independent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if someone, you know, it sounds like they have a good game plan and it seems like they'll execute it, that's the person I'm going to vote for.
Unfortunately,
you know, so I'm riding right down the middle. You know, it just so happens most of the people I vote for at this point are Republican. I mean, shoot me, but the reality is, yeah, dude, I'm as punk rock as it gets because I'm a straight white Christian Republican male, and we are not liked out here.
Right. I never thought I'd live long enough to hear Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols say that the biggest punk rock thing is being a Republican in this day and age.
Yeah. And that's my point. No, but especially if you're a straight white Christian or a cis white Christian male Republican.
You just made me cringe.
Yeah, bro. I basically walk around with a target on my chest.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I can't say that I'm Republican because
well, then you're the same as me. You're in a blue state. I'm in a blue state. You know.
Oh yeah, very blue, very very blue. And but you know, you look at great cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles, and everybody outside says, "Oh no, that's just stuff on the internet." It's like, no, man, I'm here at ground zero. That shit's very real. You know, go to any Walgreens in California. Go to any Walmart. Every time you're in one of these places, you're seeing people try to steal things. You're seeing people doing drugs literally on the aisle. And no one can tell me that I'm wrong because I live here.
I work in Manhattan. I've been working in Manhattan for the past 25 years. And I can't, every day I'm like, I want to leave. I can't be here. It's bad. It's turning into the Warriors again, you know?
Bro, I want to move to Kentucky really bad. Like once I get this comic book going, as long as the first comic can fund the second comic, dude, Kentucky, here I come is all I'm saying.
I got a pension and everything coming. So I got about 5 or 6 more years before I can retire, and then it's New Hampshire or something, you know.
Oh yeah. Just some place with some trees where it's quiet. Alaska probably wouldn't be that bad either. I have a couple friends.
The only problem with Alaska is as you can see, I'm into game groups and stuff. Like I don't want to go to a place with a low population because then it's gonna be hard to get game groups.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, like any place, I think, you know, outside of like the big cities, I think is probably the safest bet. If it's Texas, Kentucky, Wisconsin, anywhere but here.
I moved out of the 5 boroughs during COVID because I just told my wife we can't live here anymore. Things are getting bad. You know.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's on lockdown. Cars aren't moving. You know, restaurants are closing.
Right.
I'm like this. I'm getting really bad vibes here in New York City. You know.
Yeah.
And I go outside. And I'm whistling, going down to my car. People are pulling up to me. Put a mask on, you asshole. I'm by myself. Yeah. I'm by myself. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't. You're the only other person I've seen. And now I got people yelling at me, throwing cigarettes at me. I love it. You're smoking a cigarette, yelling at me because I don't have a mask on. I told my wife,
no. You know, I saw so many great examples of that.
Her because she didn't have a mask on. You know, a lone woman in the city, you know, yelling at her. And so I was like, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get out.
Well, my favorite thing was seeing the people alone in their cars wearing a mask.
Yeah, I still see it.
You know, oh God, it was so funny. And dude, it was all over California. Like, it's just like, man, you are, because see, the thing is before, you know, because like how I said, there was a gap in, you know, me trying to do comics. Me and my brother, he got me into prop making. So we would work on all kinds of crazy shit that was resin. This is the thing. Resin is super toxic.
Right. I wear a mask. I have my resin printer.
Yeah. You have to wear certain masks because you have these little microscopic things that will fly in. So if you're wearing just a standard titty cup or this or that, it's not going to help. Now, here's the thing. A virus is smaller than a particle of resin. Right. So if you're walking around with your bandana over your face or your little fucking titty cup mask,
right,
it ain't doing nothing.
Correct.
I'm sorry. Like you might have the illusion in your head, you know, the whole, what's it called? The placebo effect, maybe, if you're lucky. Right. But the reality is, if you look at the brass tacks, guess what? It ain't going to save you, dude.
Well, also look at me. I got a beard.
Yeah, I
When
was just
I'm
gonna
at
say
work,
you have a beard.
when I work in areas that have particulate problems, we got to wear a
Mhm.
mask because of like dust or cement filings.
Right, right.
You have to shave your beard, or the mask doesn't
Yeah.
work. So
Yep.
like you want me to go this, and I got this. It's like, dude, I'm not playing your stupid game. And then I go. You got me on a rant here, but I go into a restaurant, and we can't be indoors, so we go outside into the streets of Manhattan that are crowded. You can't park as it is, and they build a wooden structure with walls and a roof and a door and a table, and I can eat there. Well, ain't I inside? So now I can eat here, but now there's less parking. And I was like, that was right then and there. I said, this isn't serious. This virus isn't serious. If this virus was
bro,
serious,
you know what? That is just called mental gymnastics.
What they're trying to do is make it so that you can't drive in Manhattan to do away with cars, because these structures are still up.
I think it's hilarious, to be honest with you. Yeah, because people were coming from, and again, though, like, I think most of life in the last 10 years has been extremely polarizing. You're on one side or the other, and both sides will swear that the other side is an idiot.
If I could address everybody, C. Hicks over here, at work, I was in my thermals because it was cold, my underwear, my denim jeans, and then I had a jacket over it, and we're arguing about the masks. And I'm going to be gross here. I cut the world's loudest, stinkiest farts, and everybody's like, dude. I said, you can still smell that? But this stupid mask is going to protect you from a virus?
That's Chris, dude. That's my dude. He's told me that story.
What's that?
Oh, that's awesome. He's told me that story before.
Oh,
and it's like, hey, if the little fart particulates are going to get in through there, guess what's just as small?
Right.
A virus. Yeah, if you can smell that, guess what?
The other mask
through every layer of my clothing.
I got on I got on the Long Island Railroad, and so I got transferred to a job. I used to drive into Manhattan. So this is my first day on the Long Island Railroad in like 15 years. I get on, looking like this with my hoodie on and everything, and it's crowded. The only seat is next to this big fat woman. So, and she's got the mask clutching on her face.
Hey, you're body shaming, John. You're body shaming, bro. Don't be a bigot.
So it's the only seat available. So I go, sorry, man, but can I sit down? And she just has panic in her eyes. And I'm thinking, because I look like a maniac, which is fine. I got no problems with that. The truth is the truth. So I sit down next to this woman, and she's panicking. And she goes, do you have a mask? And I look at her, I go, no, absolutely not. And she goes, oh. And she's reaching in the bag. She goes, can I give you a mask? And I go, no. And she goes, don't you care about my health? I said, lady, you don't care about your health. You're 400 pounds. I said, if you want me to care about your health, you got to care about your health and meet me halfway. Okay? And then I just turn on my phone and I start reading, she was on the phone.
Great.
I got a maniac. He's trying to kill me. I was like,
right. That's great, man. But again, though, like that was people buying into hype and it for because I'll honestly tell you,
anything away from people who like Lucas Stone. He was in a coma from COVID. I lost a buddy from COVID. You know what I mean?
Right.
But 90% of the people, I hate to say this, 90% of the people who died with COVID were people who statistically were the most vulnerable. Well, my Taco Bell fart.
Well, right. They had comorbidities, though. Yes, they had comorbidities. So it's like this: the common cold could have possibly.
C. Hicks knows me. I'm that guy. I'll go to Taco Bell and I'll get like the double chalupa and a Diet Coke.
Oh yeah. And then spread the pollution. But like I said, life since 2020 has been different, and I think we've learned. If you're smart and you possess critical thinking, I think we've learned a lot since 2020.
Right. My wife is a sweetheart. She takes the best in everybody. She prays for people, and she is even like, we got to move. We got to get out of the city. Things. She's feeding.
Well, bro, a Christian's not going to do too well among heathens, man. Look at the Vikings, bro. And this is I'm from Norse descent. I'm Scandinavian, man. So at some point my ancestors believed in Odin and all that great stuff.
No,
But I'm just saying, you know,
Odin is my favorite mythological character of all time.
Oh, he's amazing, dude. And did you watch the show Vikings?
I was going to watch it. I bought the first 2 seasons on DVD, and then they introduced like one of the characters, a historical person, who just happened to be a black woman. I'm not watching it. No.
Oh no, that's the new Vikings. I'm talking the original Vikings. The
they different shows.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like if you go back to the original History Channel, the story of Ragnar Lothbrok. Oh, it was brilliant, man. And so in the background,
I have no tolerance for race swapping and woke nonsense. I have zero.
Me neither, because to me,
I don't get DC, I don't get Marvel, I don't watch Star Wars. You know, I don't watch Rings of Power.
I got to agree with you. And you know, this doesn't come again like, well, people will call us bigots and they'll call us this and that. And it's like, no, we're not bigots. James Bond was a white dude.
7 brothers and sisters. I've been called worse things by people that I love. you can't hurt my feelings.
Right. No, I agree. But the thing is, when people will call you a Nazi and this and that and a bigot and blah blah blah, you know, whatever.
And then they're outside protesting with Hamas, people that would kill every homosexual they could.
Right, and they literally have swastikas on their phone holding them up, and these were the people that were calling us Nazis.
Women to be covered and have permission to go outside, and you're outside there.
Dude, the funniest thing is Queers for Palestine. I'm sorry, like I saw that and I was like, dude, we're living in South Park.
Yeah,
because there's no way. There's no way people. What's that?
I you know, it's no secret that I'm calling comic book creators to come on my channel and talk, and I've been getting braver and braver and reaching out to bigger and bigger names. Last night, I spent 2 hours on the phone with Larry Lieber, Stan Lee's brother. And he said he lives in Manhattan, and he said that he's scared to go outside of his house because of what's going on. He goes, "I'm a 92-year-old Jew, you know,
Jewish man, yeah.
I'm afraid to go outside." You know,
well, that's what
this guy is a national treasure, and
this is the funniest. John, let me tell you, this is the funniest element I find in comics when people say that comic books were created by racist white men when they were the majority, dude. Siegel and Schuster, Stan Lee, the people that made the biggest impact, they were Jews.
Right. I'm sorry, Belmont. I tried to figure out the echo problems before we went live, and that we couldn't. So I'm sorry, man.
Oh. No, the audio is still bad.
Yeah, we just been dealing with it.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm up on my Cafe Bustelo coffee to even notice anything at this point.
Yeah, well, no, I've been having such a great conversation with you, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Belmont.
Yeah, and I'm probably just let me go out on the line and say that I'm probably the least important person that you've had on your show.
No, don't say that.
Thank you for.
No,
it's literally true.
But look at this
I'm going to turn it around.
I just looked at the clock for the first time. We've been talking for an hour. You know, all we did was say hello.
Right, and we've done very little talk about our comic books.
Yep. Yeah.
So, hey, man,
I found talk about your comic. There you go. It's funny, Kevin.
I found a kindred spirit.
Iron Man, Thor, and Ant-Man, and it's funny. I'll talk about that another time. But he brought that up, Larry. He made sure I knew.
We've got great people in the chat.
Comic books are a New York Jewish creation. You know.
Yes.
I'm as a New Yorker, I'm proud. I'm not Jewish, but I'm still proud. And all of these people had to hide the fact that they were Jewish. They had to, and now you think this art form that's 70, 80 years old. One of the primary guys, Larry Lieber, brother of Stan Lee, is afraid to go outside because of what happened 80 years ago is repeating. I think it's disgusting. And I'm actually getting angry.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way because it's to me, I just see a bunch of people that came in that didn't care about comic books, that were just trying to inject their politics into comic books, and they destroyed a really beautiful, like a national treasure. You know,
I keep saying jazz, baseball, comic books are like the only things that I can think of that are truly unique, truly important. I'm not a fan of baseball, but I recognize its cultural importance, and I want baseball to continue as an American thing. And I love the fact that I want cultural appropriation. I want baseball and jazz and comic books to go around the world. I want to go to the Philippines and see kids reading Spider-Man and the Plumber. And Mike Rodale. Why don't you want cultural assimilation? Did
you just call my comic The Plumber?
Did I say The Plumber? I meant to say The Plunger, right?
My God, man. John.
On that, tell me the name of the comic. Tell me where to get this. And
okay, well, this is the thing. It's called The Plunger, and it's gonna be, which is cool because no, it's fine because we're both kind of like caffeinated and we're having fun. So it's like, you know, we're rambling on, and it's great.
You guys got a rare video today.
Yeah, I love the banter, and but yeah, it's gonna be on Fund My Comic, Luke Stone's platform, and I'm gonna go exclusive on that. And it's a very Mad Magazine-esque comic book. The first issue is going to be the setup. So it's basically, I take a lot of kind of like, I guess, points from the movie Death Wish 3. I love that movie as a kid. So it's a little similar, but it's setting up. The first issue is the setup to introduce the entire universe, which is going to consist of characters from the Social Justice League. So there's like Misgender, right. So there's going to be Misgender, the green hair Ladybug Man, like all these silly Aquaman, the undocumented Manhunter.
The undocumented Manhunter.
Yes, sir. So you know the thing is, and then so that would be kind of the liberal end, and then we have the GOP, which is open carry. Well, no, we actually have Beta Man.
Oh, Superman. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Superman would be great, but we already have the Misgender, you know, the Wonder Woman character, you know. Superman would be awesome actually, but we want to go with Beta Man because well, we have all these beta men running around, you know, and it's so that's kind of my poke at, you know, the Democrats, and then my poke at the Republicans is open carry, the Incredible Hetero, you know, and on. So we have two teams that very much represent political parties, and
I got another one for you. The Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man?
The Swiss Army Man.
Oh, dude, you know what's so funny about this is when me and the writer Tony Hoffman were sitting down, and you know I'm more of the plot guy, and then he's doing the actual writing. It was so easy for us to make fun of liberals, and when we got around to trying to do, you know, the GOP, we like were scratching our heads and we're like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Because it was so hard. So we have like pro-life, open carry, tax cuts, Incredible Hetero, and again, like I feel like we just really delivered a death blow to the Democrat because we have like victimhood. I mean,
they're so easy to mock.
Yeah, and I feel bad about that, but it's like, well, hey, man.
Well, there you go. Swiss Army Man should be on the GOP side.
Swiss Army Man is really good, dude. But I need more GOP characters.
Of Superman, you know, and make that guy in the supermarket, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you got to have the ally, little chubby guy.
Oh,
that's not really friends with them. He's their sidekick, and he'll turn on them as soon as things go bad.
See, that's great. That's fucking awesome.
A good one, the Rhino.
Yeah, but I get sued for using Rhino.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like but doing this comic book has been a lot of fun. It's been hard. The writer was recently in a car accident while I was on the phone with him working on this comic. So we've had some setbacks. But one of the Hail Marys,
right?
Oh, he's okay. His hand's a little messed up. His legs banged up. Like it was a car accident, but
the colonizer.
He's okay. Yeah, and but you know, I've gotten a few Hail Marys along the way. One of them being, I'm not going to say the person's name yet, but I have a top tier Comicsgate artist that's going to be doing a cover for me.
Great.
We're going to do a contest basically to ink and color it, and you know, the winner will get. I don't know how much money it's going to be because we're not that, you know, I think that is not going to be posted until somewhere in December.
Yeah, you don't want to promise
January. Yeah, well, the reality is I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be worth their time to enter, you know, obviously. And plus, and then this is my way of trying to give a little back to the community. Because if you're someone trying to break into the industry and you're having a hard time working with, you know, top tier talent, well, guess what? Here's your opportunity. You can ink and color this thing. And if you win, you're going to be published with someone who's, again, a top tier Comicsgate artist, you know, which to me, I think is awesome. And, you know, like that. And then we're also the way we're going to do our campaign is pretty unique because I've had action figures printed that I'm picking up tomorrow. So every week that the campaign goes, if you back the comic, you're going to be entered to either win a page, win a piece of or win the action figure, win a shirt, or win being drawn into the comic. So we're going to do that for every week of the campaign. So for every backer, if you back week 1, you're going to be entered in that contest, and there's a good chance you're going to win an amazing piece of art by Rich Ayala, or you're going to win a t-shirt, you're going to win a 1 of 10 action figure, or you're actually going to be drawn into my comic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that because, like, again, you know, this isn't me just saying, hey, open your wallet. This is me saying, hey, I'm a fan. I would love to be in a Batman comic. Well, hey, if you like my comic, guess what? You have the chance to be in my comic. And all you have to do is back the comic. I'm not asking you for $500 to be drawn into it. I'm saying, hey, back the comic and you're entered. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, again, because, you know, this to me is, I'm coming at this whole thing from, I'm a lifelong fan. You know, I've been into comics since I was a wee little lad. So for me, I want to make it as exciting and fun for everyone as I possibly can, you know? So, and we have a lot of great stories we're working on, and I'm really passionate and excited sharing it with the world and seeing what they think of it.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah. I can't help it. Now I'm brainstorming. Like he's right. The Rhino is spelled different than Rhino. So you could have a guy in the suit, you know, and
oh, I know. Right. Well, cause see, this is what's funny. Cause like, again, like when I was talking to artists on Twitter about this, cause you know, Chris Hicks and I, we both, when we were running our stream, we were talking to lots of different artists, and I had people literally DM me and they're like, man, you know, I wish I could say the things you said, and I wish, you know, but I have a cushy life, you know. Right. And these are people, like one of them in particular, I can't say his name because I promised I wouldn't. When my niece found out, you know, because my niece is about 14, when she found out that I knew the guy, she was like, oh my God. And she was looking at me like I was a rock star because I knew this guy. So he obviously has made a huge impact, you know, among young kids doing what he does. And he was like, hey, I wish I could do that, but I have a really cush thing. But here's the thing, dude. If you're having a problem with Republican characters, you got to do the Incredible Hetero. And I was like, oh my God, you know, thank you. You know, because like I said, I've been throwing a lot of Hail Marys through a lot of creators. And, you know, and he was like, make him look like Joe Rogan. And I started laughing, and I'm going to make him look like Andrew Tate. Okay. Actually. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah. But, you know, so people have come along and they're like, you know, and this is what's amazing to me is like, so many people have just popped up and like, so, you know, just, hey man, you know, I'd love to contribute, but I can't, but here's an idea. And it's really, it's humbling, and it's really a great thing. And then like, to
back you up, there's a major name, and you were talking about the 90s. I'm talking about a guy who was phenomenon in the 90s. So he's been working for 30 years. And I talked to him about Comicsgate, and he blocked me, stopped talking, and his wife wrote me a letter pleading with me to stop talking about that because their own friends would attack him. And I felt like this big, you know, I'm not out to hurt and destroy lives, you know, but you know, but I did make the point, who are you afraid of? You're not afraid of the Comicsgate guys. You're afraid of your wholesome good guys, you know?
Yes.
The social justice.
Dude, that's an amazing point. Because you know, and we're the one, well, I can't say we, because like I said, I don't really lump myself in with that crowd.
You know, but you're not afraid of Ethan Van Sciver. Ethan Van Sciver ain't going to do anything. You're afraid of Gail Simone. Yeah. Let's be realistic.
And Hedorantos.
Right.
And what's that other guy? Mark Wade.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a ton of people that will literally try to, I mean, look at what Mark Wade did to Richard Meyer, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, like he was talking to Ben Dunn's brother about, you know, putting out a comic book, and Mark Wade just shut it down, you know.
Yep. Oh, and, here's another name for the Republican group, the Colonizer.
Okay, I'm probably going to use that one. I'm not going to lie.
Use it.
Yes, I am probably going to use the Colonizer for sure. I don't know what he's going to look like yet, but yeah, you know, and also too, like how we were just talking about how, you know, there's great support among people. The way I actually, me and my friend Chris Hicks, when we had our stream, we had Julius on, Julius Freeman. He mentioned Rich Ayala and was like, oh, you got to look up Roach Balls. I looked up Roach Balls, saw Sully and all this crazy shit and was like, wow, that's incredible. And this was when I was at the point, because I have a horror comic and a fantasy comic that I also want to put out. And I was still kind of wrestling with which comic I was going to do. And my friend, Lucius Morningstar, was a huge fan of the Plunger, and he likes the character. And when he found out that, you know, because I talked to him quite a bit, I was like, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. He went and got Rich Ayala to, he commissioned a piece from Rich, you know, of the Plunger. So had it not been for, you know, my friend Jeff, had it not been for, you know, Rich commission, you know, doing the commission, I would have never thought to ask, hey, Rich, you know, do you want to jump on board and work with me?
Is ask, and the worst they can do is say no.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing, because I'm an artist myself, and I do have the cover for the Plunger, like my little icon. That's my cover. But the thing is, I have more of a, you know, I'm from the '90s, man. My stuff is going to be more Justice League, the animated series. It's going to be more like Rob Liefeld. It's going to be that. And when I envisioned this comic in my head, I wanted something that was a lot like more street, you know, and Rich like literally embodies that. Like the little details that he puts into his work are fucking phenomenal.
Conway to help you write it.
I'd love to. If I could, you know.
You get the joke. He's the guy who helped create the Punisher, and now he's Punished.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, because, you know, this is the funny thing too. When I was trying to find a writer for this comic, and this is why I was so torn. Like, man, I may not be able to do this comic. The minute I would mention things like the Social Justice League, it went one of three ways: kill yourself, you're gonna get canceled, or I don't do political comics, but hey, good luck.
Oh. First off, it just came down to that. Ignore that. Second off, you're gonna get canceled. Who cares? Canceled for what?
Yeah. Well, that's my point. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have a very select.
You know.
Well, but this is the reality.
I'll accept. That's a valid reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when people were like, "I don't write political comics," that was a polite way of saying, "I don't share your views."
Yeah.
You know, or I'm not gonna do a comic book that has misgender in it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna do a comic book that has. I'm just not gonna do that. And actually, I have to interject that there was a fourth one where people just didn't understand what I was doing. It's like, dude, it's a comic book about a plunger with superpowers. It's like, no. He doesn't have superpowers. He's just a plunger with machine guns.
Right.
And like one writer that I talked to can't wrap my head around it. I was like, cool, write the Punisher. And just, I'll turn the character of the Punisher into a plunger. You know? Like, just write the Punisher, make it funny. And just think of it as the Punisher. And he's like, I just can't do it. So, I mean, this comic, it's been difficult. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm doing a flat-out regular superhero comic. It's difficult. It's costing money, and I'm learning what I don't know. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know, if RJ's, well, you know, take like how you said, RJ's pointing you in all the right directions.
Right.
I don't see how you're going to fail.
It's been nothing but wonderful, and has been answering questions. Yeah. He's the founder and owner of Fund My Comic. Why anybody wouldn't use that site is beyond me. Again. Kickstarter and Indiegogo don't answer my questions, but the founder of this website comes on and helps me out. You know. Yeah.
No.
I mean, Luke was one of her ask, but I'm not. You know, I'm loyal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can tell you this: the first people when I first got on Twitter, last July, you know, the first people that would actually entertain talking to me that were like, you know, creators that had been published and were basically pros, even though, you know, like I know Isaac doesn't like to be called a pro and this and that, were Luke Stone and Isaac Bell. Those were the two guys who would actually sit there and say, well, you know, I think you're making a mistake by doing this. Oh no, you're probably going to want to do it like this. Those were the two guys. You know,
and I had another one for social justice, the Transformer, and he turns into a female robot.
Well, we have misgender, and she has gender fluid. You know, we're still trying to work out what gender fluid is, but we're gonna, by the time the second issue comes around, we're gonna figure that out.
Okay.
But yeah, but see, like again though, it's so
he's a girl and he turns into a male robot, or a male and he turns into a girl robot.
Well, the transgenders, girls that look like guys, like,
they could be like, they could be like a guy goes out on a date with a beautiful woman and then he finds out it's really a man.
And I'm from California and that once happened to me. So, hey, man, I can write from life experience. When they're like, hey, you can't write that. You're a straight white. No, you don't know.
This comic writes
yeah. Things happened, and it was, it was an awkward experience, man. but as soon as, but again, like here's the thing, like you can look at this comic and say, oh, well, you have a character named transgender. You're obviously anti-trans, and it's like, no, man, I'm for people living their best life. Like, hey, man, if that's what floats your boat, great. You want me to call you her? You want me to call you him? That's great. I'm not calling you fucking Zer. I'm not calling you Mix. I'm not doing any of that.
Right.
Like, it's cool. You live your unique life. Just don't start to tell me.
You're allowed to do whatever you want, but how much do I have to participate in your insanity?
That is 100% accurate, and that's how I feel. Because I do actually have a couple, transgender friends. They're living their best life, but this is the thing: they're not pushing shit on people.
They're not. They're just regular people. Right, the problem that they need to fix.
Well, one of my wife's
friends is transgender, sweetheart of a guy. Now he's a woman, and living his life, writing his books, not bothering anybody, and he's embarrassed by all of this, and he's just like it's or she. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. I never know what pronouns to use, and no disrespect, because this is a respectful person who, first person to admit that there's a problem in his life that needs to be fixed and addressed, and he says, and this is just turning people against me. And this person doesn't want anybody to know that it was a different gender. He just wants to go through life under the radar.
Yeah, no, and you know what? That's the thing, man. I don't deny anyone. Yeah, I don't deny anyone their lived experience. Like, hey, man, if this is who you are and this is a genuine thing, if you're an adult, I support it. I don't support little kids being castrated. Absolutely. I don't support, drag shows for kids. I don't support kids being at these pride parades, because my best friend in high school was gay. Okay, and this was back in the 90s. So I went to pride things with him and shit. He was my best friend, And the thing is, I've seen firsthand the type of shit you see at these things. I don't think a child belongs there.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, call me whatever you want. I don't care.
If Matt Bauer is still in the chat, he'll back me up. But I used to go to a punk club called the Pyramid Club, and it was punk rock bands and transvestites, back when you were allowed to say transvestite. So here we are.
Yeah, dude, I've been to a bunch of those down in Silver Lake,
right next to Divine from Pink Flamingos, and we were just having a grand old time. It was a great place to see bands, and we used to go to the May Day parade, and it was a transvestite parade in New York City, and it was just understood. You don't bring kids. This was an adult venue, and they had whatever, Just don't bring kids.
Well, dude, there was a real prominent, like you guys had Divine, we had Vaginal King Davis out here in California, who was this big, buff, black trans person. And, she hosted a lot of the punk shows down in Silver Lake back in the 90s. And, and the thing was, a lot of the content, like, I'm just saying, I don't think punk shows are good for kids anyways. Like, if they're real punk shows anyways.
Right. We're drinking beer, and we're stage diving, and,
the mosh pits. I mean, we knew how to have fun. And, you got knocked down in the pit. If they were assholes, you got stomped on. Most people would stop and pick you up. The places smelled like urine, and they were for adults, And you
don't bring kids there.
No, and this is where my I guess my sensibilities stop and say, if you're going to be a trans person and you feel like you need to go read stories to little kids, okay, well, why don't we have stripper hour where strippers or OnlyFans girls go and read stories to little kids? Oh, because that's obscene. Well, how's it any different? You flip it on its side. Dude, it's the same side. I mean, it's two sides of the same coin. And it's like both are bad. Both, your children shouldn't be exposed to either, because it's wrong.
Patrick Zurcher just blocked me on Twitter. Patrick Zurcher is somebody that I've been a fan of since 1983 because he used to do supplemental material for the role-playing game Village of Vigilantes, which I've been a fan of since day one. And he says all these Republicans are banning books. And I said, I don't know about that. I said, the only thing that I've seen banned was explicitly sexual material for junior high school and lower. And he said, don't you lie to me, and blocked me.
Of course, because, you know, and this is a person that would, right, but this is the same person would argue that you couldn't put Playboy magazine, which is far less graphic, in a middle school or grade school.
But the article that he posted, the book that they were talking about was gender queer. And I looked up this book, and there's pictures in it that are not appropriate for little kids. If anybody wants to argue with me, go look at gender queer and tell me your argument that this should be for it shouldn't be in high school.
For children.
It has explicit pictures of oral sex. Why do we need that in grade school? Well, and keep in mind, they got rid of Maya Angelou, and this was written. Right. This was Democrats who got rid of Maya Angelou. So
why the cage bird sings?
Republicans banning books.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and that's where I'm saying the whole dynamic, it would be shifted completely if you're like, well, let's put Playboys there, and Playboys are far less graphic. Those are, you know, those were tasteful pictures of beautiful women, you know, naked. There's not pictures of, it's not Hustler magazine, for fuck's sakes.
Right.
But I guarantee you, you know, it's, you know, and this is where, like, and again, I hate to say it, we live in a fucking clown world. We live in the upside down. Everything is
one of my friends was like, would you bring your 12-year-old boy to Hooters? I said, no, I'm not trash.
No, of course not.
Don't bring your 12-year-old to drag shows, and don't bring your 12-year-old to Hooters. Personally, Hooters sucks. You know, how about both? You know, how about you bring your kid to like an appropriate diner or something like that? It's a freaking kid. Let him enjoy cartoons and whatever kids like.
Yeah, right. But no, you know, you're going to have these people that are definitely not. They're not. You know, it's the whole idolatry thing, man. Like, we live in a time of idolatry, and this is what scares me. This is what drives me closer.
Oh, just lost you. I think you faded out. I think we just lost Elon. Everybody.
Oh shit.
Oh, I heard a curse word.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, well, because I mentioned God, but like we as creatures, we as like individuals, as long as we've lived, we've idolized, we've worshipped, and it's just, to me, you have to be really careful what you worship. You know, and
they worship the state now.
Well, they worship drug addicts. They worship. Well, you worship drug addicts. You worship whores. You worship rich people. You worship. You know, again, it's idolatry, and it's like when that becomes your sole focus in life, or you know, you worship yourself because you are. I
was going to say that. I think the most common form of worship is self-worship these days.
Yeah, and these are dangerous things when it comes to like society. These can be extremely detrimental to society. Yeah. Because the thing is, when you're worshiping yourself, you're not thinking about the other guy. And this is the funny thing about the Democrats. Supposedly, they're always thinking about the other guy. Oh, he's not a criminal. He's only a lad. Society made him. You know, I have to quote Oingo Boingo, you know. But, you know, and, we have to care about these homeless drug addicts. And we have to care about this. Well, those same metrics don't apply to other things, and that's where I think like we're on really slippery slopes with society right now.
If I may get weird and esoteric for a minute, I have a degree in history, and if you and I have a thing for mythology. If you read Greek mythology, you know, Apollo was not just the god of the sun, but he was like the god of Greek culture, you know, and he was like this lawgiver culture. I always refer to him as the god of culture. And then you see they had Hestia and all these people on the 12 thrones of the Olympians. And there's all these stories of Dionysus coming from the east. And all the myths of Dionysus is they resisted Dionysus. You know, you know, him and his maenads were coming. And remember, Dionysus, for the first 12, 13 years of his life, he was dressed as a woman. He had 2 different color eyes. And it was the grapes and the mystery cults and orgiastic rites. transgenderism, and the Greeks resisted Dionysus coming in, and then finally Dionysus broke in. He goes to the Pantheon and says, I demand a chair. And they're like, well, we only have 12 chairs. And Hestia, the goddess of the hearth and home, got up and left, and Dionysus took her seat. That's a story that the cultural identity was the hearth and home was removed and replaced with transgenderism. And then classical Greeks was gone within 50, 60 years of Dionysus worship.
Yeah. Well,
Dionysus is the death of civilizations. Look at Siberia in Sicily. The same thing happened. Look at the Dietmar Republic. Egobalus was the first transgender emperor of the Roman Empire. It didn't last.
I was just going to say that.
Dionysus is the death of a culture. And look at us. We're at the end of American culture.
Well, but look at Rome. What happened? What were the key things that were in place when Rome fell? They started to idolize chefs, and they started to play with gender roles. Like transgenderism became a part, and that was at the collapse.
Right, Egobalus was the first transgender emperor of Rome, and Rome didn't last 50 years after he ascended.
And this is my point again, because it became a worship of self, because it's what I consume. It's the gender role I identify as. Yeah. These are.
And everybody was just, well, the Indians had third spirit. I'm like, well, how'd that work out for them? The Indians also believed that there was a talking raven and dogs that could speak, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. But this is the thing,
we lost you again. How dare you talk against it? Can anybody still hear me? Am I still there? We lost Elon again. They got him.
You wouldn't exist if you didn't.
We're losing you, Elon. I don't know if you can hear me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I just heard that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, because my whole point with anyone who has this great hatred for straight people is if it wasn't for straight people, you wouldn't exist. So, there's that.
Well, we missed your whole point.
Oh, did you hear me?
I just heard you say, did you hear me? And then I heard you say, and then there's that. It was like your whole point was
okay. Well, my point is this: if you're gay or trans, if you have a hatred for straight people, you wouldn't exist. So there's that,
Well, we got 11 people in the chat. We got Elon over here. Could anybody tell me what a trans right is? I can't believe I'm getting so political. I'm going to get canceled.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Kevin, he tried to put headphones on and he didn't have any that worked. And then I was like, either we do this now. Yeah.
Or we don't.
Yeah. And we're going to finish it up.
Apologies.
I got to go get lunch. I haven't eaten anything yet. And the coffee
sounds good, man.
So anybody want to say anything? You want to say anything? Take us out with the plunger.
Well, I mean, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Well, I hope everyone's living their best life. And I hope the best for all the creators in comics. And, let's just all pull our heads out of our asses and do some really great stuff.
Yep.
That's what I'll end with.
Yep. And why don't you come back when your campaign is live? I'd love to have you back.
Absolutely. I'd love that. And dude, thank you so much for having me on, John. I really appreciate it.
I love talking to people about comics. You got me a little bit. It's funny because everybody always says, oh, John, you get people to talk deep and say other stuff. You got me to talk about stuff I normally don't talk about on my channel.
Well, hey, man, like I said, I think I found a brother from another mother, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You got the colonizer.
Yeah. And I did get the colonizer out of you. But it's been
Army
a real treat.
You gotta have Cis Army Man.
I love that too, but it's like, man, the roster for the other side just keeps growing, and it's like
you're gonna have future issues.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And dude, I'd love to talk to you off stream about what I have planned, because I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I do have some ideas that I think you'd really think were funny. Because like I said, this comic book becomes a very Mad Magazine style
and
comic.
It's itself.
Yeah, it is. It actually is. And like I said, I'd love to, clue you in on the whole, 10-issue arc and everything like
it's 10
that.
issues.
But,
you got 10 issues planned? Good
yeah, we have 10 issues planned right now, as of now, yeah. And like I said, it's been a real treat talking with you. I really appreciate you having me on. And thank you.
I love talking to people about comics. I started this channel to talk to people about comics. When I moved, I didn't know anybody. You know, now I got a groups of people. It's been fun. The internet has been nothing but a pleasure for me. You know.
Absolutely, man.
I try to stay out of this drama of Iron Age versus Comicsgate and stuff. To me, it's just
the culture war.
You got good comics, you know.
Well, that's all I care about, man.
Yeah, and you know, whatever. I'm not disavowing anybody to make a buck. It's just not me.
No, same here. Same here. I just want everyone to actually be creative, be passionate, and read the stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
You know.
At this note, thanks everybody. Thanks for showing up. I see a lot of names in the chat that I haven't seen, like Student of God. I'm sorry about the audio issues. C Hicks, thanks a lot. If I could please get you guys to like and subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000. You know, I want to be able to make like a video or something. You know, throw it towards the comments. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. What's been
Elon Mudd? His comic is the Plunger. The link is in the description. And you mentioned another comic from somebody that you said was on Amazon. Send me that link. I'll put that in the description also.
All right.
All right.
Well, it's been a pleasure, John.
No problem.
Thank you. All right.